all the way down here on the front. So number 5, we're starting with the graph. That's all the information we get is the actual graph of this line. We got to work everything else out to get our equation. What's that? Sure, yeah. If we have some time, we'll take a look at 8. So number 5, right away we can tell where the y-intercept is at. It's wherever this line crosses the y-axis. Where's that point at there? 2. So my y-intercept is 2. We know that my equation is going to be y is equal to something x plus 2 right away. Now all we have to do is find the slope. What method can we use on a graph to find the slope? Anyone remember what it's called? It's called something over something? Rise over run. So we're going to start on the leftmost point. Good morning, Jaron. Thank you, sir. We're just going over 20 right now. Okay. So we're going to start on the leftmost point. We're going to count up, and we're going to count over. We go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces up, 1 space to the right. Really thin slope triangle. Make sure you're not just counting along the diagonal. Okay. So what's my slope here going to be? 6. We could say 6 over 1 if we want to. But in our equation, we're just going to write it as 6. Keep it nice and clean in our equation. Making sure all of our fractions are simplified. We'll get to that on the back. Is this proportional, thumbs up, or non-proportional? Thumbs down. Go ahead and show me what you think. Thumbs up for proportional, thumbs down for non-proportional. Okay, I see like 5 thumbs. So we need to do the whiteboard activity again. Okay, there's a little more. All right, this is definitely non-proportional. Does not go through the origin. It's very close to going through the origin, but not quite non-proportional. Right? As soon as we see that my y-intercept is some number other than 0, immediately we know it's non-proportional, right? That sound good on number 5? That one's a little hard because it's a really vertical-ish line. We got to make sure that we're drawing our slope triangle whenever we can. The bumps, like I said yesterday, can get confusing, so just do your lines up and over. Over to 8. Now, in number 8, we start with the slope and the y-intercept, so we can immediately write our equation. Y is equal to 7x minus 6, right? M gets plugged in front of x. B gets subtracted on the end after x, like that. And then we can follow our steps from 4.3 to graph this line. First, we plot the y-intercept at 0, -6. Right there. Yes? Does that look right? My y-intercept?
Yeah.
Does it?
No, it has to be on the y.
Where did I put this point? On the x-axis at -6. This is our y-intercept. So my y-intercept is going to be all the way down right there. Not that point there. All the way down here at -6. I know I'm going to rise 7, but I don't see a denominator for my run. What number can we put under that 7? 1. So we're going to rise 7, run 1. We're going to rise, let me do it in a different color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. From there we run 1 and make a dot. Again, we have a very, very steep line because our slope is a large number of 7. It's close to being a vertical line, but not quite there. Is this proportional or non-proportional? Non-proportional, how can we tell? Exactly, it does not pass through the origin. Our B value is -6, not 0, so it is non-proportional. Okay, there's number 8. Number 9, just like number, I think, 5 on the front? Yeah. Number 9, we're starting with the graph. Again, my y-intercept is very clear to see. How many spaces down is that point on the y-axis? 3 spaces down. 1, 2, 3. So my y-intercept is -3. Y is equal to something x minus 3. And then again, we rise over run. Starting at my left point, we go down this time 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spaces down. And how many spaces over? 6. 8 spaces down, 6 spaces to the right. If we're going down, is my numerator going to be positive or negative? Negative. Negative 8 over 6. And like I told a lot of you yesterday, when we have a fraction like 8 over 6, we want to break it up. 2 times 4 over 2 times 3. What can we cancel from the top and the bottom? 2 and 2. Good morning, Ida. And we're left with 4 over 3. So our slope in our equation should be, thank you, negative 4 over 3. Now, negative 8 over 6 is not wrong, but whenever you can simplify a fraction, no matter what lesson we're learning, you always should. If we use this slope, negative 4 over 3, because it's proportional to the one that we found, we could see that if we go down 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 1, 2, 3, we have a nice even dot right there on our line. 4 spaces down, 3 spaces to the right, led us to the same line as 8 and 6 would. Everyone kind of see what I mean by that? That's what our proportional fractions are going to give us. So this is, of course, a non-proportional function, does not go through the origin, and that's what we get. Y is equal to negative 4 over 3x minus 3. Double check, make sure you simplified your fraction. If not, just make that correction in red so you know when you're looking back on these worksheets. In the conferences we've been having, a lot of you have been saying that using the worksheets on the test has been helpful. So making these corrections in a different color will just help prevent you from making those mistakes when it matters. All right. Last two, down to 11 and 12. Seems like we're having some trouble starting with the graphs. It's understandable. Where's my y-intercept in number 11? Where do I cross this y-axis?
0.
At 0. So my y-intercept is going to be 0. Now you could write it as 0. You could write it as the point 0, 0. Either one is fine. My slope is rise over run. We're going to rise up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces up. 1, 2, 3 spaces to the right. 5 over 3 is my slope. My equation, y is equal to 5 over 3x. What do we put on the end of this equation? Anything? We could write plus 0, but does that do anything for us? No. So we'll just leave it like that. Now, is this equation, give me a quick thumbs up for proportional, thumbs down for non-proportional. What do you guys think this time around? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. I appreciate you, 8. This is definitely proportional. We're going right through the origin in the center. All right. Last but not least, number 12. It's a tricky one, right? Our equation's kind of bare. There's not a whole lot going on. What number's in front of this x that we just can't see? There's a 1 in front, but with that negative 1, that means our slope is going to be negative 1 over 1. Do we see a number being added on the end here? No. So that means it's like we're adding 0. So my y-intercept is 0. Right away, that y-intercept of 0 tells us this is proportional. We make our first dot at the origin. Now we rise and run. But because my numerator is negative 1, am I going to rise up or am I going to rise down? We're going to rise down. Down 1 space, right 1 space. We could continue that pattern all the way down if we want to, just to get a nice, perfectly straight line through all of those points. It'll look something like that. If we draw our stick figure on the left, tell them to walk to the right, we see we're going downhill, which is perfect. It matches up with our negative slope, just like that. All right. Final questions I could answer about worksheet 20? Sound good? Quick show of thumbs. How we feeling about that? Thumbs up. Sounds good. Everything looks good. Thumbs sideways. Looks all right. Okay. If you're done with that, go ahead and pass it forward. If you need a little bit of extra time, please take a little bit of extra time. That's totally fine.